So, Joanne, let's start off here. You know, Governor Abbott, I know, helped campaign for you last year regarding the school vouchers issue. Um, how important are school vouchers heading into the upcoming legislative session?
It will be a priority. It will be absolutely so incredibly important. And let me reframe it a little bit from school vouchers. That vouchers was a word used, 2 decades ago that and has a negative connotation. What we're looking at is parent empowerment, parent empowerment, and that has four pillars that are so incredibly important. First of all, we have transparency. We want to be able to, as parents, to be able to see the curriculum in our public schools before school starts. We need to be able to see the curriculum. We need to be able to prove the curriculum because back during the COVID lockdowns, all of us were shocked by what was being taught to our children. So that is the first pillar for parent empowerment is transparency. The next one is quality. Every child deserves a high quality, high valued education. That includes teaching character and scholarlyship and not the sexual racial of CRT and DEI and things like that. The next thing that is so incredibly important is respect. Parents deserve the respect that they get to choose their children's education. They get to choose the curriculum. They're the ultimate authority, as Governor Abbott says, their parents are the ultimate authority of their children in all aspects and areas of their life, which is so incredibly important. And then the last thing, which you would refer to as school vouchers, would be school choice. And parents have the desire and the right to choose a high quality education, a high valued education for their children. And school choice would be implemented by education savings accounts, where the money follows the child rather than going into the bureaucracy. The economy would absolutely increase. There are 31 other states in the United States already have school vouchers or school choice, including three rural states, lots of rural states, but three of them, Arkansas, Iowa, and Oklahoma, already have school choice programs and education savings accounts. But in Florida in particular, who's had it for 2 decades, the private schools in the rural counties doubled. So it just absolutely increases the economy. And so it's very important. 77% of Republicans voted for school choice just in our House District 11. And statewide, University of Houston Public Policy did a poll statewide, and it is a 70% want school choice overall. Even in the urban areas, there's the Democrat Black families want school choice by 57%. Because, in particular, in urban areas, the schools are absolutely failing the children. So, it is so incredibly important that we are number one. Texas is number one in economy, in oil and gas, and you name it. Number one, number one. We're number 33 when it comes to educating our kids. We've got workforce coming up. That will increase with school choice. We have we need the workforce in our area. So it's absolutely freedom to be able to freedom for the parents, freedom for the economy. As we all know, when we insert capitalism into anything, it just increases productivity, it decreases costs, and it's just good all around. All the boats rise up.
Let
And
me
so
let
that
me ask you.
absolutely.
Let me ask you if anything regarding. Do you plan on introducing anything regarding school vouchers in the upcoming legislative session?
I will be supporting any of the education savings accounts as well as school choice in the upcoming legislation. Yes.
So if those are brought up to a vote, um, where would you stand on those?
I would, like I have said, I would absolutely support school choice, parent empowerment, which includes school choice, as well as the other things I've already mentioned, in order to improve. I want East Texas to be the best ISD and the best at educating all of our kids. This is also an opt-in program. It's not mandated, so you don't have to do it. If you're private school or if you homeschool, you don't have to opt in. This is just a choice. You can opt in or not. And there's no strings attached. We're not going to be able to, state's not going to be able to come into the private schools or your homes and go through your curriculum and things like that. However, it's just needed. It is so incredibly needed for parents to have the power to choose what's best for their children. This will also help teachers because there'll be higher competition in going to other private schools or other area. Teachers also, those are one of the number one things we're going to be doing is increasing teacher pay. When we get back in session, we left that it was left on the table last session, a huge teacher pay increase. So we got to get that back in line as well. But the bureaucracy, the bureaucracy of education is just a behemoth, and that just has to be broken up and give that power back to the individual freedom, back to the parents who have the ultimate authority of their children.
Let me ask you, some of the criticism about school vouchers in particular is that even though they're given a choice, the public schools, my apologies, would suffer. Some superintendents here in East Texas have said that, to my understanding. How do you respond to that? Do you agree with them?
I don't, because like I've already told several superintendents, not $1 will come out from the public school fund. That has been increased. All public schools, the funding for public schools have increased dramatically, especially in the past 10 years, according to the TEA, by 50%, in fact. And so throwing money at the problem is not working. And so we're going to have to, think of other things, creative ways. There's the teacher incentive allotment that helps teachers increase bonuses by doing good work in their classroom and just being recognized. We want to recognize the great teachers and we want to give them bonuses for that. So there's the teacher initiative allotment. In order to do that, each school can apply for that. Is so incredibly important that we take care of our teachers and we respect our parents. That is the most important thing. And the school districts already, the ones I've spoken to, they already know that school choice is coming and they're going to be adjusting for it for whatever they need to do. I want East Texas schools to be the best schools in the state. Absolutely the best schools. So we're going to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Let me ask you, you talk about wanting to raise teacher salaries, if I heard you correctly, and obviously we're talking about educational savings accounts, school vouchers. Is there anything else you would like to see regarding education in the upcoming legislative session, if you don't mind me asking?
I would love for civics to be taught again in our school systems. Even when you were in school, and definitely when I was in school, we were taught all those things, and that's not necessarily taught or emphasized. And that is incredibly important of where our country came from, the truth about our country, the truth about our founding fathers and founding families, their Christian beliefs, the faith that was absolutely implemented in our entire country, that wrote our Constitution. All those things are absolutely so incredibly important that we are the best country of the world, and all the other countries depend on America to be the best country because we are that light.
Let me ask you, you mentioned a lot of the positives from school vouchers or educational savings accounts in your view. Do you see any potential drawbacks in them, any at all?
The drawback will probably be for the bureaucracy because they'll have to trim some fat possibly. They'll have to not have so many people in the administration section of their schools and ISD. So the drawback would not be on the parent empowerment side, but the drawback might be that there's going to have to be some hard work done on reestablishing, looking at finances and seeing, how where they can where they can cut things or positions that not necessarily, non-teaching positions and things like that. That might have to be an issue, be an issue. But in order, not because they're not getting enough funding, because the funding obviously is still going to be there for public schools, like I said, but because they want to attract the students, they now have to market to the students that they're the best. Now, if the public school is already A school, B school, even a C school, students aren't going to leave. There's nothing to worry about. In fact, in Florida, only 9%, after 2 decades, only 9% of the families took advantage of this program. This is a program that's optional. And so some families just choose not to take advantage of it, which is fine. That's their right to do so. So, it's not going to be all scary as that was led to believe at all. We're trying to do it, to help our students and help our schools in order to bring them to a level. I mean, especially in East Texas, it's gone up in the last 2 years, but we're still 50% below grade level for reading. That's terrible. And we're 60% below in math. That's awful. Grade level. Now it is up from 2 years ago, which is great, but it is still not good. So we need to do whatever it takes in order to get these students at least minimum at grade level in our East Texas schools.
While I have you, what are your other priorities in the upcoming legislative session? Are there any bills you plan on introducing that that you want to do?
Sure, absolutely. There are absolutely, we got to get the border secured. We got to get it funded, secured, taken care of. Hopefully, when President Trump takes over in November, we can. A lot of that will be so helpful, so helpful. But we got to make sure that what has happened over the last 3 years never, ever, ever happens again in Texas, because the rest of the United States, especially the blue states, depend on Texas to lead them out of this horrible mess, this horrible immigration flooding that is taking all of our resources, that there's human trafficking. Texas does not, it's so important to us to take care of these girls and boys coming across the border that are in these horrific conditions and horrific situations, and get rid of the incentives that's pulling everyone through, and stop the presses literally in Latin America, where they're pleading, they're come this way, go this way, here's your free phone, here's your $5,000, here's your $2,000, come here. We're up to, they believe, almost 20 million people come across. So border is absolutely huge. And of course, election integrity is paramount. And thankfully, Governor Abbott just announced yesterday that 1 million people that were illegally on the voter rolls have been taken off of Texas. Half of those were deceased, half. So those are absolute priorities for the security of Texas, which is basically the security for the rest of the United States.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like for our audience to know?
Well, I am so incredibly proud and honored to be representing House District 11. I can hardly wait to get to Austin, and my office is a open door office. We want to serve you. That's what the office is there for. It's your office. It's House District 11 office. And so we want to serve you. And I'm just very, very excited to be able to represent such an incredible area of Texas and people of Texas that my family is part of, and I love and adore.
Well, Joanne Shofner, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.